Good afternoon, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And today, I just want to talk about the $450 stimulus payment that they're going to do for about anywhere from probably 4 to 8 months. Okay. Has this been approved? Absolutely not. But think about it like this. First, they give you an incentive, an increase of $600 per month for those who are filed, those 30, 40 million Americans who have filed because of unemployment. They give you $600 extra to stay at home. Now, Republicans have proposed $450 a month to go back to work. What is the risk that this is going to cause the American people? Now, we understand all across the country, people have been breaking social distancing. People have been encouraged to wear masks because we're getting back out there. People are having parties. People are going to the beach because we want some sort of normalcy. We want to get back to our everyday lives. But unfortunately, I'm not the bearer of bad news. We all know that there's still a pandemic going on. There's still people dying from COVID-19. But let's kind of do a deep dive into the $450 a month to go back to work. Now, essentially, these are for people, for everyone who have been laid off, furloughed, decreased in hours, etc. I know people personally who their job has furloughed them for a week out of a month. Say, hey, every month, you're not going to work. So you have to subtract that. You have to adjust your budgets, adjust your bills accordingly. Still ask for relief from either your cell phone, your internet bill, your mortgage, your rent, etc. Still do those things to protect yourself, because according to the FCRA, which they actually adjusted, if you reach out to your creditor, if you reach out to your lender that you broker a deal, this should not affect your credit. But reports have shown that this is still affecting people's credit. Now, what do you want to know about the two proposed stimulus payments that the Republican groups have actually proposed? Now, one is you receiving $5,000 from your Social Security. If you are a worker, if you have a job, self-employed, if you are a taxpayer, because we understand that the federal government has $1 to $2 trillion of Social Security money waiting for those who have been paying taxes, waiting for those who are retired. You retire at 59 and a half, 62, 65, 70, and so forth, that you'll have some sort of Social Security, because we've heard this president after president after president. What's going to happen to my Social Security? I've been working my butt off, paying my taxes, and this Social Security benefit is supposed to be here to take care of me. Donald Trump has promised that no one's Social Security will be affected. On the other hand, these two proposed bills, these two proposed legislation that's been introduced are being very popular. One is taking $5,000 of your Social Security and then on the back end, delaying that amount from 2 to 4 months. So essentially, you're not getting paid that amount because you took a loan up front. Now, of course, it's zero interest. You don't have to pay nothing back with your Social Security. But nonetheless, when you're about to retire, if you need this money, you might want to adjust. You might want to save. You might want to plan in order, because as soon as you become qualified to actually, apply for your Social Security, you're not going to get that money if you take this $5,000 if these two plans are being proposed. Hey, what's going on, Jen, and what's going on, Paul Brown? So I just want to let you guys know, is this a good plan for me? I believe it is if you need the money. Now, this is totally going to be optional if this bill passes. Now, we understand that Democrats have proposed 5 bills. They proposed 5 bills, and guess what? The Republicans are not budging. Now, it passed the House, but Republicans are saying that the bill is DOA, dead on arrival, when it comes to the Senate. And guess what? Has the Senate met? Has the Senate voted? No, because the Senate went on a vacation for another week. Must have been Memorial Day. They must have a lot of people in wars of old that passed away. I doubt it. But anyway, other proposed plans, the HERO Act, the CARES Act. Now we understand that the CARES Act passed. That's why we all received that $1,200 stimulus payment. Now the HERO Act that Nancy Pelosi proposed originally was $3,000. Then they were like, oh, that's not popular. The Republicans not going to go for that. So she said, you know what? Another round of stimulus payments for $1,200 and hazardous pay for essential workers, so on and so forth. So again, it passed the House, but again, the Senate has said it's dead on arrival. And then Donald Trump said, hey, if it come past my desk, I'm going to veto the bill. Because we all know what Donald Trump wants. We know that he wants for Americans to get back to work. So his buddies and their buddies, male and female, continue to become very, very rich. Now, I'm not against no party. I'm not against Democrats. I'm not against Republicans. I'm not against independents. What I'm against is helping the American people out, especially those taxpayers who have been paying taxes since day one. And you would rather take away from someone's Social Security than the taxpayer dollars that Congress, representative, senators, all of those people in government who have millions of dollars, you're not willing to decrease their paycheck to help those Americans who are doing those 10-level, 20-level jobs. We're talking about fast food restaurants, those mid-level restaurants and services and logistics and shipments and truckers. There's just so, and nurses, there's just so many jobs out there that depend on the lower class and the middle class to support America, and makes the high class and the 1%ers absolutely rich and wealthy. But you would rather take away, oh, I guess we can do a plan, the Eagle plan. That's what the Eagle plan is called. That's your $5,000 delayed from your Social Security payments that they're proposing. It's called the Eagle plan. I don't know. That's why I got the Eagles in the back. Anyone to catch the hidden meaning? Yeah, probably not. Just me. I just want to let you guys know this. $450 a month to go back to work. Is it worth your health? Is it worth risking your life? Is it worth your family? That was an educated pause because I can't speak for you, only you can. You know the answer to that question. Now, I've been going into establishments to pick up things, and I remember when I was in Denver, we had to wear masks going into the establishment. Like a lot of cities, especially a lot of major cities, okay? When you go out and about, they want you to put on a mask. Like it's mandated by that mayor, is mandated by that governor that you wear a mask. Some people are totally against the mask, like your commander in chief. He's against wearing a mask. Now, some people are against wearing masks because new information is coming out about how far the droplets of a sneeze or a cough or while somebody is talking. Because sometimes even when I talk, some spit come out. It's just normal, right? Certain words or just out of regular speech. They're trying to say that 6 feet, it's not even going 6 feet. It's going like 3 feet, right? But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, wearing a mask is a preventive measure. So even if you speak to somebody, because we understand that 6 feet is a long distance away to talk to somebody, right? Because the natural distance that most people talk in America is 3 feet. Believe it or not, it's 3 feet, sometimes 2 feet. And in other countries, they're close talkers. They speak like 1 feet away, like they're almost kissing. But for America, it's like that comfortable, 3 feet, 1 arm length away. That's about 3 feet for most people. So we have to understand that. So that $450 a month tacked onto your regular paycheck, especially if you're getting paid the regular amount, could be substantial for all the bills that have accumulated because of COVID-19. Or it could be relief in some sort of manner, or, as I always say, it could be creeping on a come up because now you have $450 that you never had before. And you're like, what should I do? So, what I'm going to go to, pay off your debt. If this bill is passed, pay off your debt first, then save up for your emergency plan. See, the reason why the emergency plan is so important It's because of right here, right now. COVID-19, aka the coronavirus, aka COVID, SARS-2. See, look that up. COVID-19 is simply SARS-2, ladies and gentlemen. You can look on the CDC website, but they're not calling that in mainstream media. They're not calling that in mainstream America. But if you go on the CDC website, this is SARS-2CO. But coronavirus is a mixture of different viruses together, and they haven't named it yet. But they already named it on the CDC. It's called SARS-2. If you don't know, go look it up, fact check me, hit me up in the comments. But nonetheless, the $450, if passed, could be substantial to actually raising your wealth, meter, because some of you may not even need the 450, but you may want the 450. You hear me? So I want the 450, but I may not need the 450. And then on the other hand, the other plan is the $5,000 Social Security that will be delayed when you file for Social Security, when you're in your elderly years or when you're going into retirement. Now, the $5,000. Now, I do not agree with the plan, but I believe that the plan could be advantageous for those in need. Now, let's talk about those who may take advantage of the $5,000 who may not need it, because I'm thinking about what could I do with $5,000? If invested right, that $5,000 could become $10,000. If saved right, that $5,000 can become $15,000. Because think about it like this: if you just had an increase of $5,000 inside your bank account, what would you do? What would you do non-celebratory? Meaning that you're not going to use at the party and buy TVs and speakers and any gadgets or anything like that. What if you just took the $5,000 and put it in your emergency fund in case another breakout, in case another emergency, something has nothing to do with the pandemic? What if you use that money for that? You get what I'm trying to say? Because I'm thinking I can increase my portfolio just for savings. I can increase my portfolio and diversify my investments with that money. So those are the things that I'm actually thinking about, that $5,000, early 40s, late 30s, early 20s, you can save up that $5,000. So on the back end, when you file for your Social Security, say, okay, sir, we understood back in the COVID-19 days that you applied and received the $5,000 from your Social Security for the next 3 or 4 months. You're not going to receive any payments, but after that, you receive your payments, so you can pay back the amount that you took away from your Social Security. Because $5,000 right now, buying Boeing, buying Delta Airlines could be advantageous. Now, I talked to a buddy the other day about Delta Airlines. We were talking about all the different models that has come out to help you invest your money. Like, he's with Vanguard, and he's going to take his money out of Vanguard because Vanguard, they have a system where you call in, you ask them questions, and they have some sort of already predetermined answers that a representative on the line actually just tells you, right? They're not these expert brokers that we all thought they were, even though that they manage $4 to $5 trillion. Because here's the thing: most people that call into investment brokerages, they already know the questions you're going to ask. But he's an investor. He's a multimillionaire. He has numerous of properties. He's asking questions that the normal investor is not going to ask. You would think they would send him to a high-level executive broker that can answer these very complicated questions that he has, but they didn't. So I told him, this is how I break down. I didn't look at so many investment models. I didn't look at so many risk management when it comes to investment models, that at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, use your common sense. That's what I told him. I said, bro, I use my common sense. I use my common sense. He said, how so? I said, listen, Americans are now traveling again. Americans are now traveling again. The planes are more packed. That means that the appreciation of Delta Airlines stock value is going to go up. that means that Boeing is going to get back to building planes or maintenance in planes for these large corporations, these airlines. So import and export during the height of COVID-19 decreased. But now that people are going back to work, where they're exercising within restaurants, 50% of the restaurant is being utilized because they're practicing social distancing. So those products that those restaurants need, the increase is somewhat back to the levels, maybe 25 to 35%, but they have increased the amount of imports and increased the amount of exports back to 35% less than what we was before. So what does that mean? That means that shipments are coming more readily than before. That means, okay, all this ties into something. Just stay with me here. That all ties into something. That means that products are being made at an increased rate that we were before COVID-19. So if you're looking to invest, I can't tell you what stocks to invest in, because we all know that investing, especially during a time like this, is very volatile. It's a huge risk factor. But what I can tell you, as cities, as towns, as states become more open, that means that all of those stocks that you were investing in, if it has to deal with products and services, airlines, that means people are getting back out into the workforce. People are going back to work. People are going back to their restaurants, back to their secretary jobs, back to their call centers. That means that gas is going to rise up. So if you are investing in BP, ConocoPhillips, Shell, Chevron, Exxon, so on and so forth, guess what? I will buy that now. Because if we're waiting for stimulus package to save us, did that $1,200 save you? It helped. It didn't save you. See, when you're out there working, and here's another thing. I agree with a lot of financial experts online. One of my favorite is Dr. Boyce Watkins. He basically saying build your own business. Now, for some of us, we don't have the capacity. We don't have the guts. We don't have the guts. We don't have the business prowess to build our own business. So we want to work for people for our money. I understand that. I'm not against that either. He is. I'm not against it. But I do like some of the narratives and some of the things he has to say about it. So create your own jobs. Because I told a lot of my viewers in a previous video that during this time of COVID-19 that everybody's staying in, well, not anymore. A lot of people are getting out. But this was a time that people actually started doing hobbies and started creating jobs. So this is very advantageous. $450 to go back to work. That's what the Republicans have proposed to the Senate, to the House. This is one of the proposals. $450 to go back to work. I like it, but I don't like it. Because you're saying, you know what? The cash flow that my rich buddies had coming in, it has decreased significantly. It has decreased significantly. And guess what? I don't care. Because as a taxpayer like myself, I have paid thousands in taxes. I'm just saying, break me off a little something. But see, when you go back to work, are you risking your life? You are. I don't care all the conspiracy theories, ladies and gentlemen. When you go back to work, and a lot of you are probably already back at the work, maybe at reduced hours, you are risking your life. But you have to risk your life to save your life. Tell me if I'm lying. You have to risk your life to save your life, because if they're not going to give you another stimulus payment, or they're not going to give you, what the Tim Ryan said, $2,000 a month to pay all your bills, your essential items, so on and so forth, then it's time to get back to work, because you have to support you and your family. Let me read some of your notes. Jen says, I got it. Love the backdrop. Oh, thanks, man. No, it's not enough. Thank you so much for explaining it. Buy stock, Jermaine Anderson. And then Wayne Peters says, what about people who are working already? The people who are working already, they already have their life at risk, Wayne. And I totally understand that, because I go out and about and I say, you know what? There's a couple of things that I can do. I can DoorDash it, I can Postmate it, because not every day I like to cook. Or I can go to local establishment and support them. Now, granted, um, every city that I go to, I try to find businesses that support. I'm sorry, excuse me. Let me back up. I try to find Black businesses to support them because they're probably hurting the worst. Because you know the narrative that China brought out. China was like, "Oh yeah, COVID-19 is from Africa." They saw beating up Africans in China. We all know where this disease is, but why are we always the redheaded stepchildren? Not me. I don't have any here, but it's always a war against Black people. Why? Why is that? All right, I'm not gonna go down that road. I know I'm not gonna go down that road, but I just don't understand it. But here's my thing. I just, for the viewers who just tuned in, I want to inform you. So, two different proposals from two different groups of Republicans. One, they proposed that $450 to go back to work, stimulus payment. Every month, you're going to receive $450 because you went back to work and you didn't take the increase of the unemployment of $600. Now, granted, do we understand that the unemployment is going to end July 31st? Do we understand that they're going to stop paying that extra $600 in July? So people who are riding that wave, people who are riding that horse, oh, you're going to get bucked off. You're going to get bucked off that horse. So I like the fact that they're going to pay us $450 to go back to work. And I dislike the fact they're going to pay us $450 to go back to work, because guess what? It's going to put you and your family at risk. Second plan, $5,000 that you can receive if you opt in to taking that away from your Social Security. Okay, now this is for your taxpayers and those people who are disabled. Now, the people who are disabled, they should already be receiving Social Security. They should. But I see this plan as both advantageous to the American people and a disadvantage to the American people. And of course, I don't care about the US government when it comes to this. The reason why it's advantageous is because if you need the money, you can use the money now. You can buy groceries now. You can pay for your bills now. You have all these people in your house, your kids, your family, however you guys are trying to stay alive, essentially, and entertain, because most people are looking towards documentaries and TV, Disney Plus, all these services, right? Because we're trying to avoid going outside or going outside in large groups. So that $5,000 can work for you in so many ways, paying medical bills, etc. There's so many ways I can't even get into it. But they're going to delay your payments when you get into your elderly years and you file for your Social Security. They're saying anywhere from 2 to 4 months that your Social Security payment is going to be delayed in order to pay back what you took because of this pandemic. That is the part that I absolutely hate. I dislike it. It's crazy because you're like, you guys are still getting paid full-time pay, even though the Senate took off another week. They're still getting paid full-time. Have you heard that the representatives, the congressmen, the senators take a pay cut? Did anybody? Please let me know in the chat. Has anyone heard that their congressmen, their congresswomen, any people in the federal government when it comes to politics have taken a pay cut because they're still getting paid? Because we understand that America have some of the most intelligent people when it comes to capitalism. America has $1 to $2 trillion of Social Security just waiting for people to file for it. America has millions barrels of oil in Alaska just waiting for us to run out. See, the one thing that America has done to set himself up for success is to make sure they have an emergency fund on all accounts. On all accounts. Did you know there's a U.S. stockpile of canned foods? Did you know that? And so there's a U.S. stock. I'm just giving you random information. I know I'm going somewhere with this. There's a random stock pile of canned food I don't know the exact location because then you guys will probably show up and knock on the door. But billions of different sorts of canned foods that when they get close to expiration date, like a year or 2 years out, they give them to the homeless shelters and then they get more. They replenish it. A lot of people don't know that because America has learned throughout the years, famine, pandemics, that we need to protect our best interests, and that's our one percenters, that's our politicians, that's our rich people. Because they're like, well, we need to protect the businessmen because they're the one who create jobs. And we're looked at as the red-headed stepchildren because we're the one who work the jobs. So who do you think more important, you or Jeff Bezos? You or Bill Gates? You or Warren Buffett? Who do you think? You or Mr. Wonderful? You or Raymond John? I mean, who? Who do you think more important? You or Mark Cuban? I have nothing against any of the people I just named. I'm just saying, who do you think is more important to the American business? All those billionaire entrepreneurs who created jobs and gave and created jobs for Americans. So when we look at these stimulus payments, they look at these stimulus payments, okay, some of them, and the Republicans are just going to let you know, as a handout. They're like, excuse me, we gave you $1,200. How much money don't you have? You mean to tell me you've been working this job 10, 20 years and you don't have no emergency fund? You don't have $5,000. You don't have $8,000. You don't have $10,000. So what were you doing? Were you just partying all your money away? Don't worry about the money I have. I created my own business. See, we need to have a grown-up conversation. I'm about to switch the narrative on you guys. We're going to have a grown-up conversation because I know that I'm living off some of my savings right now, but that's why I have them. That's why I have savings, to live off them in case of times like this. And then as this pandemic diffuses, I have to find another hustle. That's fine. I'm okay with that because I have savings, but they will run out. But here's a question to you guys. We are mad at the millionaires. We're mad at the billionaires. We're mad at the politicians. But let me ask you this question right here. How long have you been an entrepreneur that you created your own money? How long have you been working for a job? How long have you been working for an organization? How long have you been working for these companies and you didn't save any of your money? Now, granted, the exception to the rule, the exception to this verbal policy I'm giving you are those who had to pay medical expenses for themselves out of their own pocket because their copay was too high, because they wasn't fully insured by the business. There's a lot of exceptions, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Those who had to decide to go to the Bahamas or save that $3,000 in your emergency fund that you didn't do. Those who took out money of their savings to buy a lavish TV, to buy a lavish gadget that you didn't need, that you wanted, that could have went to your emergency fund and stayed in your emergency fund. That is the grown-up conversation you need to have with yourself. And that's why I told you one of the greatest assets that you can have is an emergency fund. Because times like this are unprecedented and unwarranted and unpredictable. I'm reading some of your notes. It says here, this is from Wayne Penn. Sorry, I meant, are people who work through the pandemic, do they qualify for the $400.50 per week? Wayne, those details are not out yet. I do not have that information. See, Jim Murray says, I tried to apply, still won't get it. I'm licensed caregiver. Okay. I thank you so much for explaining. I can't telecommunicate. They have not taken a pay cut. I'm using my emergency fund now. I wish I will replenish. The octopus 1%, please grow up conversation. This message. Okay. All right. So here's my thing. The reason why this is so important, this is much bigger than a stimulus payment. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this information because you want this stimulus money, because you absolutely need the stimulus money. But we have to ride both sides of the highway. Okay. We have to travel both sides of the highway, because one way is a stimulus payment, then the other way is on you. What are you doing? How much money you have in your pocket? How much money did you save? How much money did you blow? How much money did you blow? I'm gonna show you something. I do this all the time, ladies and gentlemen. I have my cell phone right here. Okay, can you see that? My cell phone. I have this mouse right here. Why am I showing you all this stuff? I'm picking up my mic. I have my mic right here. It's golden. Baby. Why? All of these products I just showed you, very few. The people who made these products are millionaires and billionaires. The products you have in your home, every single item, it could be your wall, it can be a picture, it can be a cabinet, it can be a handle on the cabinet, it can be a water jug, it can be your granite or your laminate or your quartz countertops. It can be your faucet. It can be the handle on the faucet. It can be the pipes. It can be your refrigerator. It can be your television. It can be the buttons on your television. It can be your couch. It can be a mirror. It can be a ceiling fan. It can be a light. It can be a vent in your house. It can be the filter in your house. Somebody made these products. Somebody is a millionaire behind these products, and you have all these products in your home, but you want more. You went out and you bought more products and more products and more products. Like me, I have a PlayStation 4. I have Google Stadia. I have all these things that I necessarily don't need, but I could afford them, so I want them. But when did I buy these items? I bought them when my ass had an emergency fund. That's when I bought them. When I had an emergency fund. I said, I got low to little debt. I mean, considerably. Because I still got a car note, go figure, right? I still have a credit card bill that somebody other than myself charged on my stuff when I was linked, okay? But thirdly, when I have an emergency fund, then I started to buy items. Then I said, oh, COVID-19, let me not buy these items. Let me not buy my gadgets. Let me not buy my toys. Let me decrease some of my payments. I just canceled my YouTube TV. YouTube TV, when I first started YouTube TV, was $35 a month. Now it's $53 a month. YouTube TV, no. Can't afford it no more. Can I afford it? Yes, I can afford it, but I can't afford it. You know what I'm talking about, right? Here's the thing. You have to make hard decisions. Some of you will believe, some of you are just stubborn. Oh, I can't survive without my YouTube TV. I can't survive without my Netflix. I can't survive without my Prime TV. Listen, I'm a 70s, 80s baby. I was born in 78. There you go. I told my age. But I lived without those things then. I remember people say, I can't go to sleep without the TV. Yeah, you can. Watch this. Sell your TV and she wants you to go to sleep. But my point is this. All jokes aside, maybe one or two. On the other hand, I believe that the government should give the American people another stimulus payment. I would, no one's going to refuse $100, $200, $300, $1,200. Do I like the $2,000 a month for 6 months? Yes, I do. Do I like no rent, no mortgage cancellation act? I do. Those are very aggressive. That's why they have not been proposed. I mean, they've been proposed, but they have not been voted on. Nancy Pelosi came out with $3,000 a month. I mean, $3,000 stimulus payment, one-time payment, which was more than double the amount of the regular CARES Act stimulus payment of $1,200. It passed through the House. The Senate took a vacation, so we're still waiting for the Senate to actually vote on that. We already know what's going to happen with that because they said, Mitch McConnell said, oh, that bill right there is going to be dead on arrival. If you don't know who Mitch McConnell is, go look him up and hear him talk. He looks and sounds like that. That bill right there, I already know that's not going to pass. So Donald Trump said, if the Senate somehow passes it miraculously, I'm going to veto it. So we can't even count on that. But now these two with the $5,000 payments from your Social Security, also go back to work, $450 extra for those people who are receiving the $600 to be unemployed to stay at home. See, it's a contradiction. America, if you listen to a lot of religious speakers, my favorite is Malcolm X. He'll tell you that America is a contradiction. He's talking about race. I'm talking about race and economics. It's a contradiction. They give you $600 to stay at home, then they give you $450 to go back to work. Because a lot of people were saying, I'm not going back to work. I make more money on unemployment than I did at work, especially with the incentives and the increase in bonuses from these stimulus payments and stimulus acts. Okay, the CARES Act. But we already know that's going to end in July. So you need to set yourself up for success. And I'm going to continue to give you those short videos that I just released. If you go back, ladies and gentlemen, I already released a video to give you a shorter version of this video. If you just want it plain, simple, cut, dry, you don't want all my rhetoric, all my bull crap that I'm speaking, go look at that video. And that video is very quick. It's going to give you the information about the $5,000 borrow from your Social Security that you'll have to pay back within 2 to 4 months once you apply for your Social Security, and also the $450 a week to go back to work. You can catch that video. It's a lot shorter than the one I'm doing right now. But I'm gonna read some of your notes. We're gonna have a conversation today, guys. I haven't been on for a while. I know you haven't seen my pretty face, and I haven't seen and heard from you guys for a while. All right. Christian said it's true. Jermaine says yes, wants and needs. And Sauce Dre said we got pay the money back. Yes, you have to pay the money back. Because here's the thing, you're born from yourself. This would be your Social Security that you're borrowing from. And again, I've said it once, I said it twice, I said one more time. I like it and I don't like it. I love it and I hate it. I love the fact that this could be something that's going to help people out. This is going to help put food on the table. This is going to help keep the electricity and gas on. This is going to help, even though I don't agree, to keep the TV and Netflix going, to keep you entertained. Because there's so many push-ups, there's so many bike rides, there's so many walks in the parks you can do. I got it. I love a good movie. I love a good series myself. I cannot lie. But on the other hand, you're taking away from your Social Security. You're taking away from the $1 to $2 trillion that's gaining interest to continue Social Security on for more and more people throughout the line. But you also paying it back, which is you're not paying it back. You're just being delayed payments, which you're not going to pay you because you already took it. And it's zero interest. So, I mean, there's pros and cons there, ladies and gentlemen. And you have to weigh in if this is passed, because it's going to be optional. They're not going to grant everybody this Social Security benefit. They're not. It's going to be opt in, opt out. Okay, apply or not apply. It's going to be your choice. Now, for those who don't need it, should you take it? I can't speak for you, but I'll speak for me. I'm going to take it. If the government is going to give me a piece of my Social Security that I can use for investments, that I can use for savings, then that $5,000 when I file for Social Security, I'm not going to be crying about that. I'm not. I'm not going to do it. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that $5,000 can be very profitable if used the same way. Some of you are right now have business ideas. Some of you are right now are innovating new systems, new techniques, new designs. Some of you right now are inventing items and products and services. And that $5,000, I remember, who was that lady who made the spandex tights? She made spandex, and it was off a $5,000. No, it wasn't a loan. She saved the $5,000 and made spandex. And I always tell people, $5,000 can be so much. What if you don't have money to get married? I talked about one of my old videos, how you can take $5,000 and have a beautiful wedding. So if you have a special loved one that you're wanting to get married, and this $5,000 can help you get married, don't take that $5,000. Save up the money. Because listen, if you have $5,000 and you're trying to marry someone, you going into the marriage broke as hell. Don't take that $5,000. You crazy? I'm talking about saving up your own $5,000 and having a marriage, because you know she want a $5,000 ring. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I don't have $5,000 for a ring. I got a kiss and a hug, and I'm gonna give her one of those bracelets that you can eat the candy from. And then I'm gonna give her one of them little candy rings so she can suck on it. Why? One, because they're cheap. Two, is gonna show the amount of love. I know I'm all over the place. I'm having fun with you guys today. Like I said, I haven't been on for a while. I'm showing out. Okay, I'm showing out. I'm back and forth. I got my character back together. I got my sweat usually that like I'm going. I'm gonna read some of your notes. Christina M says, I want my money to make money. And see, Hispanics, Gabriel, I don't know her name, but let's go back to Christina. She said she wanted her money to make money. And Wayne Peterson said you could take the $5,000 and invest and let it grow over time. Christina M says, I miss you and that knowledge. Well, thank you. Here I am. Now, let's just talk about my knowledge. My knowledge is all over the place because I'm not politically correct. Okay. People with higher education who have bought into the American narrative of this is how scholars should speak, this is how scholars should act. I'm not going to fit into that narrative. Okay. Do I believe myself as a scholar? I got a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, a associate's degree, a certification in project management, a certification in Lean Six Sigma. But I mean, I'm a fool just like the rest of everybody. But the difference between me and them, I'm going to be foolish with some knowledge, but I'm going to speak real to you guys. I just don't know how to be politically correct. It's not in my DNA. It's not in my RNA. It's not in my soul. It's not in my spirit. It's not in my being. It's just not in me. It's me to tell my perspective of how I look at things. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I speak about how I grew up. My perspective, the way I think and look at things, and how I grew up. I grew up poor. Okay, I grew up stupid. I grew up uninformed. Okay, because a lot of times, as African Americans, as descendants of Africans, as brothers and sisters of those who live in Africa, okay, we're talking about Pan-Africanism. We're talking about the diaspora. We're talking about our disconnect and our connection to the African people in the African continent. This is the plan. This is the strategic plan for African Americans, for Black people in America to stay stupid, uninformed, lazy, and dependent on the system. Does anyone hear me? They want us to stay dependent on the system. See, I try to give you guys information to use the system to your benefit. See, I kind of like, I just was listening to Louis Farrakhan, one of his old interviews. He was on the Donahue show, I think Phil Donahue, back in 1990. And I agree with him 100%. America should give what they've taken. We built this country, so they should give us some of this country back. Then some people will say, well, why don't you guys just go back to Africa? We don't have a connection to Africa, even though there's plenty of people, you see them on YouTube trying to make a connection back to Africa. But at the same time, it's like, wait a minute, I built this house. Okay, the house is America, is a representation, is this analogy for America. I built this house, and now you tell me I can't live in it. What? You didn't pay me. The only thing was you provided the tools and the materials, but you didn't pay me. We understand, ladies and gentlemen, that if you are a carpenter, if you are a construction worker, the job gives you the tools and the materials to have you to build something, and then they pay you for your labor. So you tell me to build this house, or we have built this house, our ancestors, but you can't live in it. See, anyone have heard of generational wealth, where this family has been, this house has been in the family for 30, 40, 50, 100 years. And people down the lineage, people generation to generation have lived in this house. The house stays in the family. Not this, because they say, you know what, you built this house, we didn't pay you, but you can take your black ass back to Africa. Does anyone hear me? So I try to teach people financial information of capitalism in order to have a piece, not a part. You will never give a part. America will never give you a part. They will give you a piece, okay? Because if they gave you a part, a lot more African Americans would be a lot more wealthier. Not just those who dance and sing and rap. Because think about the prominent black people that are millionaires and billionaires. I'm gonna name a couple. Oprah Winfrey, what did she do? She had a talk show that she entertained people. And you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. It was entertainment for white America. That a black woman was giving away cars and gifts and having tough discussions when she had the Ku Klux Klan on there. It was entertainment. So that's how Oprah Winfrey got hurt, and then she got into business. She got her own network. Congrats on that. Jay-Z, billionaire, him and Beyonce. How did they get there? Entertainment. Sammy Davis Jr. How did he get there? Entertainment. 50 Cent. How did he become a millionaire? Entertainment. Rick Ross. How did he get there? Entertainment. Neil deGrasse Tyson, very intelligent guy. But how did he get there? Because he knows astrology so well, and because he's a black man, he has rhythm and comedy. Because black people, we have all these talents, right? We are comedians, we are informational, we're serious, we're strong, we're intelligent. We have all these different prowesses that we can mix up and make them profitable for people to pay us money. But think about how all the black people of today got their money. Now, you take your eyes off the entertainment and you look at black people who made a way for themselves back in the day when we were released, okay? We wasn't set free. I just want to put you that way. If you read and look at some of the stuff I read, you understand that we was not set free. We were released from bondage, but not set free. It's a difference. Because if we were set free, we would have citizenship, meaning that we'll have civil rights, because we don't have civil rights because black men and women are still dying. And I keep telling people it's all about money. It's all about money because white supremacists want black people to leave or to die, but they don't want us to leave. You get that? Because here's the thing. Without black people in America, they're going to be losing a lot of things. They're going to be losing a portion of the lower class working force. Okay. That means they're going to have to increase the number of illegal immigrants coming from the south of the border, mostly Mexico, by the way of Honduras and El Salvador, etc. Okay. And don't forget that Hispanics, Mexicans, Honduras, they are partially Native American. Do your history. They're partially Native American. Because we understand that being Mexican, being anything other than Spaniard, is a mixture of two or more races or two or more ethnics. We understand that Mexicans are mostly Aztecian or Mayans mixed with Spaniards. That's why you'll have white Mexicans and you'll have brown to dark Mexicans. That's why you'll have dark skin, like my color, Cubans or white Cubans. Because we understand that the Spaniards raped the world. The Spaniards raped the world. But we have to understand that everything goes back to money. Money. Why did the Europeans colonize the world? Money. Land. Money. Land equals money because you can do a lot with land. Even if you open up a parking lot, land equals money. Diamonds equal money. Gold equal money. Gems, sapphires equal money. Jade equals money. Precious stone equal money. Platinum, palladium, silver, gold equals money. Debt equals money. Property equals money. Everything is back to money. That's why financial literacy exists, because I want to give you the information that you guys never really thought of. A lot of people don't think about this. All this revolves around money. We live in a society that majority of the society in the 1% are Caucasian. And in order to keep them rich, in order to keep them wealthy, in order to keep them living comfortably, we need Black and brown people to work their ass off to keep me rich, to park my car, to make my suits. Now, you know, when we talk about race, we never really talk about Asians. We never really talk about Indians, do we? They somehow mastered how to come to this country. Let's talk about Indians real quick, very briefly. We're talking about Indians from India, not Native Americans, because I think that's disrespectful to call them Indians. That's what the white man call them. So I'm gonna call them Native Americans because this is their land. Indians have dark skin. They have melanin in their skin. They have different hair texture. They have different body, what's the word I'm looking for? Their body makeup is different than African Americans or Africans. Okay, they're shaped differently. So their anatomy is off, but they have dark skin. Why aren't they discriminated upon as much as we are? And quite frankly, I've known some Indians, not all, I can't speak for them, I can't speak for any entire race, not whites, you know, not blacks, I can't speak for everybody. They're very prejudiced against Black people. They're very prejudiced. I don't know what they think about white people, I don't know what they think about Asian people. Now, you can also call Indians Asian because they're in Asia, but they don't look at themselves as Asian. But then Asians, they're very, very, not all of them, let me back up, not all of them are racist, are prejudiced, but a lot of them are. Especially in their own country, especially when we come here. You hear about all this stuff when Black women go to their shops. That's why I tell Black women, stop going to Asian shops selling you hair. That's why I love some businesses in Atlanta, Georgia, because there's a lot of Black businesses that are selling hair. Here's my point though, those Black businesses, I hope they're getting their hair, I hope they're getting their products from Black distributors. China is rich because of us. Yeah, because of Black people. You may say, well, no, the China riches of America. Yeah, they are, because everything we got was made in America. But China is rich because of Black people, because we buy so much stuff that we don't even eat, and we still live in the ghettos. We still living in the hood. Well, people don't understand that we are in economic and social slavery. But what are you doing to change? What are you doing to change the narrative? Now, granted, I know when people get on YouTube and they're speaking their rhetoric, they're preaching, they're teaching, and the one question that the audience always say, well, what are you doing? They're informing you. They're teaching you like I'm doing. See, we all can't have the same job. We need people who are willing to fall on the knife, to be killed by the sword, to have their head chopped off. But then we need other people in the background carrying out the work, uplifting the Black community, bringing positivity. This is not about being whitewashed. This is not about being cornballed. This is not about being an Oreo. This is about money. This is about building businesses. This is about inventing. I want you to think about all the things that Black people have invented, that Black people have been a part of. Let's talk about Sarah Breedlove. Let's talk about AKA Madam C.J. Walker. She's a millionaire. Let's talk about Gerd A. Morgan, who made the gas mask, who made a different version of the stoplight that was more safer than the European version of the stoplight. These are Black people. They were inventors. They were engineers. What about the Black gentleman who worked for Microsoft, who made some sort of advanced microchip at the time? Let's talk about Emmanuel Walu, a Nigerian guy who made the fastest computer at a certain time. Let's talk about these inventors and engineers. Let's talk about Larry Johnson, the maker of the Super Soaker. Yeah, a Black man made the Super Soaker. Everything relates to money. So when we come full circle and we come back to the stimulus packet, Why would you think that the most richest people in America want to give you another stimulus package where you sitting at home just chilling? No, they're like, in order for me to be rich, I got to have you guys out there delivering and shipping my products to manufacturing and distributing sites. So those workers ship those to the local stores in the neighborhood. So those workers can sell it to you, the consumer, so you can go back on your job and work for me here and make more money internationally so I can continue to be rich. But when you sit at home, everything stops and I still got to pay these bills. So that's why, have you noticed some businesses says, I forgot what business said they were going out of business. It was a huge business. Was it Steak Shack? I don't know. A lot of businesses are not bouncing back because they were running off of debt in the first place. There were some businesses, you probably seen this in your city, they were building their business and they had to stop all production because they couldn't pay the construction workers. Because guess what? The other chain businesses they had or the loan they had coming in, the bank stopped. People stopped going to those restaurants, so the revenue ended. Because here's a great thing. A lot of businesses build their next business, building off of debt. Why do they build their businesses off of debt? So they don't have to pay taxes. I give you a prime example. The best prime example I can give you is Amazon, because Donald Trump loves Amazon. He loves beating up Amazon. So in order for Amazon not to pay taxes, when they build a fulfillment center, when they build a delivery center, when they build another corporate office, what they do is they take profit from another building. Because when that building start gaining profit, they build another building. It increased their market space, increased their market share so they can reach more customers faster. That's why you have 2-day shipping, 3-day shipping, 1-day shipping, 30-minute shipping sometimes. Some of you guys have ordered something in the morning and it came that day. That's because they increased their market volume, their market share, their market space, so they can reach more people faster. How do they do that? How they're staying so rich? Because when one building becomes profitable, they take the revenue, they take their capital and build another building. And then that building is in debt. They keep all their buildings in debt. So when they file for their taxes, they say, okay, so let's see your profit margin. Wait a minute, hold up here. Okay, carry the one. All of your buildings are in debt, so you're not really making money off your buildings, so you don't have to pay taxes. You're paying your workers. You have health, vision, dental. Okay, everybody's getting paid. Okay, Jeff Bezos, you're the CEO, so you take a larger profit. So we know you're worth $100 billion, but all your businesses are operating out of debt. See, we need to understand in 1971 that President Nixon changed the wealth currency to debt, not dollar. Meaning, if I ask some of my wealthy friends, they tell me that not only is America built on debt, but I'm rich because of debt. Because I can go into a bank and get a business loan and get in debt, put that money into a property, buy that property, build out that property, rehab that property, rent out that property, flip that property, make a profit, pay the bank back, and do it over and over and over and over again. And the only thing I'm doing is good debt, good debt, good debt, good debt, credit card, bad debt, bank loan, business loan, flip it into a property, make it a rehab a property to a rental property, good debt, because I'm making money. Any debt that brings you money is considered good debt. Any money that takes away money is a bad debt. Any money that values you an asset, because we understand that assets make you money, liabilities take your money. This is why this channel exists, ladies and gentlemen, to teach you the basic economic ways how money works and how money can work for you. Now, the major problem I have within myself is to get up and go. Debt scares me. And if debt scares you, are you a fearful of debt? You're not going to make any money in America. I had two people to tell me, they said, why are you not a millionaire yet? You know all the information. I realized what my fear was. I hate owing people money. I hate it. But you have to use the tools that they use to become rich. All rich people use the same tools. You know the story of success. You see a successful person, you ask them what they did and if they can mentor you, and you do what they did to become successful. And guess what? All of my friends said, yep, I did this and I'm in debt, but I'm rich. See, a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of rich people are in debt, but they're rich and they're living a lavish life. You may not want to live a lavish life, but you may want to live a lavish life. Let me read some of your notes. All right. Economic slavery. I said that. To study our country before they get here. Southeast Asians. Thinking of getting insurance. Ashley Hawkins. That's my buddy. We talk about getting insurance through like pari-mutuel. That's my buddy, Stephen Gardner. I posted a picture of me and Stephen. We actually met up. So his channel has blown up since we talked. He went from 222 subscribers to 335,000. I'm still at 11. His subscribers need to come to my channel. I'm giving him all the pointers. Stephen, I know you're watching. I'm just messing. Not really. But I love the guy. He's a really good guy. I met him in person. He's a real genuine guy. Let's see here. China is communist. They just opened up their economy. Thank you, Jim Murray. Said, bless you, bless you. Rethinking my business plan. Indeed. Super Soaker. Yep, that was a black man who made the Super Soaker. He was an engineer at NASA. Think about that. And I believe he also made the Nerf gun, but he sold the licensing rights to that company. So I believe his name was Larry Johnson, I believe. I could be off, but I know his last name was Johnson. It says, oh, wait, tax or paycheck is okay. This is so amazing. This is MBA stuff, knowledge. Well, thank you. He needs showers of blessings. That's financial literacy 101. Debt sound too close to death. I want to be comfortable. Jen, you're right. I kind of think about debt the same way, but you need to get around intelligent people, and I'm around intelligent people a lot. As a matter of fact, one of my buddies, he invited me to golf on Friday. I don't know how to play golf. He said he's not that good, but I'm going to pick his brain because guess what rich people do in America? They go play golf. I don't know how to play golf. It doesn't seem interesting, but that's not what it's about. They're going to play golf and later on they're going to go smoke cigars. I'm not really a smoker, but I picked up cigars and I just puff on them every now and again. But this is how you have to learn in this country the way we do things, because a lot of these things that we do are European. These are not African things. Playing golf is not African, it's European. Smoking cigars is not African, it's European. But sometimes to be in the same room so you get the information, you might have to pick up a golf club or two. You might have to hold a cigar. You don't have to smoke it. Be like Bill Clinton. I puffed, but I didn't inhale. Man, get the hell out of here. We know you smoked on that good kush. All right, let's see what else said. Daniel said they created a nonprofit during this pandemic. Yep, that's right. He sold the rights to the patent. Yep, thank you. So I was right. I read something back in the day. I'm going to learn. And indeed you do, ladies and gentlemen. So I've been on here for quite a while. Unfortunately, I have to end this segment because I know not so many people are going to watch an hour video. But nonetheless, this was for the people who tuned in. And I'm glad that you have tuned in. Because like I said, I was away for about a week. Had to do a lot of things with family, friends. I have totally been out of it. But like I said, if you wanted the short version of this $450 a week to go back to work, or your $5,000 stimulus payment, I have a shorter video, much, much, much shorter than this. It's a video I posted right before this one. So go check that video out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. This was my rhetoric. This was my perspective. This is the way I look at things. I'm glad that we agreed, and I'm glad that we disagreed, but nonetheless, we have a respectful conversation between you and I. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. And at any time, ladies and gentlemen, I have a lot of information in the description of this email. If you want to talk about business venture, you want coaching calls, I have my email in the description. If you guys are looking to invest, I have a link to Robinhood and as well as Stash. Thank you for being part of my community. You guys have a great and wonderful day. I'm out.